From the All Indiana Podcast Network, this is the News 8 Daily 8.
Now, the latest news.
Kylie Conway has the latest news. The top headlines. News you can use.
Please stand by.
Sponsored by LCS Heating and Cooling. Now, here's Wish TV's Kylie Conway.
Hi, this is Kylie Conway, and this is the News 8 Daily 8 for Thursday, July 15th. Starting off dry today, but we are going to deal with some afternoon showers and storms with even stronger rain chances tonight. It'll also be humid with highs in the upper 80s to low 90s. Okay, let's talk about those FBI raids yesterday. What were agents looking for in Indianapolis? We could actually learn that answer here soon when federal officials announce the results of this large-scale drug investigation. That's going to be at 11 o'clock this morning. If you are listening to this podcast after 11 a.m. on Thursday, go to wishtv.com right now, and you're going to find all of the details. If you're listening to this before that, then here's some background. Our mobile news tracker was there yesterday morning. The first scene was at 36th and Kenwood Avenue. Then there was another one at 16th and Butler. We caught up with one neighbor at that location who says he did notice that there was something suspicious going on at that house.
Frequently, every week, every day, but lots of different vehicles. And so that always kind of makes me start thinking.
An acting attorney general and FBI agent in charge will join local law enforcement for this morning's press conference, again, 11 o'clock. And a lengthy investigation by the Justice Department reveals the FBI Indianapolis field office grossly mishandled the sexual abuse allegations against Dr. Larry Nassar. In its 119-page report, the Justice Department described the work of FBI agents in Indianapolis as incomplete, inaccurate, and a failure, and directly names retired field office special agent Jay Abbott. The more than 2-year probe shows officials made false statements and failed to properly log complaints from accusers or notify local authorities. The report says the investigation by Abbott and another unidentified supervisory special agent included a handful of email exchanges and 5 pages of handwritten notes, and the two neglected to interview 2 of the 3 accusers who were willing to talk to them. Rachel Denhollander was the first woman to publicly bring the allegations against Nassar. She spoke to News 8 about the report and what needs to happen now.
Stop looking just at the Nassar survivors and ask what you're not seeing. There needs to be an investigation into the IMPD and the IMPD's handling of the Nassar case. That has to be done. And we have been pleading with the Attorney General of Indiana for 6 years to make that happen. And not only has it not happened, but that detective has been promoted. Everybody should be asking why.
The report also pulls details from court documents indicating 70 athletes were allegedly sexually abused by Nassar between July of 2015, when USA Gymnastics first reported the allegations about Nassar to the Indy field office, and of September of 2016. The 57-year-old disgraced USA Gymnastics and Michigan State University doctor is serving a 40 to 174-year prison sentence in a Florida prison. More than 150 women and girls say Nassar assaulted them over a 20-year period. The FBI said in a statement, the actions by the agents described in the report are, quote, inexcusable and a discredit to this organization. An attorney for the more than 150 Nassar victims issued a statement calling for the FBI agents involved in the investigation to be charged. Abbott's attorney, who is former U.S. Attorney Josh Minkler, told CNN Abbott hopes Nassar victims can find peace. Today, the U.S. Surgeon General is set to discuss COVID-19 vaccine misinformation during a White House briefing. CNN reports Dr. Vivek Murthy plans to share details of the new report. At the same time, the White House says it's working on a plan for how to address it. That could include focusing on social media platforms. The move comes as health experts are pushing for more people to get vaccinated to combat the rise of the Delta variant. According to the CDC, the Delta strain is responsible for almost 58% of new cases since July 3rd.
Whenever anyone has an increased risk or susceptibility to getting a case, their incidence for being hospitalized goes up. Then their chance of having severe disease goes up. And unfortunately, deaths can follow.
And this morning, the Indiana State Health Department reports 273 cases of the Delta variant. And we're getting a look at how opinions are changing about the vaccines. A new study from the Kaiser Family Foundation checked in with people it interviewed 6 months ago to see if their views differ. According to the report, 92% of people who said they wanted a vaccine as soon as possible in early 2021 have gotten at least one dose. 54% of people who said they wanted to wait and see before getting vaccinated also received at least one dose by the check-in. 76% of respondents who said they would only get the shot if required to do so or said they definitely would not are still unvaccinated. And the CDC confirms a rise in cases across the country. Indiana is seeing just more than 41 new cases per 100,000 people. That's worse than most of our neighbors, but better than the national rate of 50. And a new study finds millions of children have missed routine vaccinations during the pandemic. The research is published in the new edition of The Lancet. It says 8.5 million more children than usual missed diphtheria, tetanus, pertussis, DPT shots because of the pandemic. 8.9 million more children than normal missed their measles shot. All right, and in our multicultural spotlight, we're taking a closer look at the huge drop in standardized test scores during the pandemic. Less than a third of elementary and middle school students passed both English and math. The assessment from the Indiana Department of Education shows that Black, brown, and lower-income students were impacted the most. Agner Blade is a mother of 5 kids in grades ranging from pre-K to 9th grade. She says as a teacher, she and her children struggled as well. Blade says that she isn't shocked that many other families did too.
It was a lot. It was challenging, but we managed because, we have to get through these things.
Some education advocates believe it will take years to rebound from the impacts of the pandemic. News 8 also spoke to an economist from Ball State who says the achievement gaps have widened even more for some students. That could impact future higher education and job earning potential. Johnson & Johnson is recalling 5 sunscreens. All of them are aerosols. 4 are Neutrogena brands: Beach Defense, Cool Dry Sport, Invisible Daily Defense, and Ultra Sheer. The 5th is Aveeno Protect and Refresh. Johnson & Johnson says they have low levels of benzene, a chemical that can cause cancer with repeated exposure. The discoveries of dead songbirds are now reported in 3/4 of the state of Indiana. 69 of Indiana's 92 counties are listed by the DNR. That's 16 more from the department's last update almost 2 weeks ago. Officials say they're finding mysterious illnesses in robins, blue jays, and sparrows. The agency still doesn't know why the birds are dying, but it is not from a flu or West Nile. The DNR recommends that you take down any bird feeders you might still have up, even those bird baths if you have them. Indiana Task Force 1 is on the way back home after helping at the site of the deadly condo collapse in Florida. This morning, IFD confirms that several of the members tested positive for COVID-19 before their return. According to the department, those who are positive will be tested again when they get back to Indiana tomorrow. IFD tells News 8 that several members of the team tested positive sometime after the collapse and then were isolated from others. And we're hearing the frantic 911 calls in the moments after the collapse last month. The recordings reveal chaos and confusion from people still in and around the condo. You can hear the panic and disbelief as the callers are trying to comprehend what's happening.
Miami-Dade, please.
Yes. I'm in Surfside, please. Half the building has collapsed, but I'm alone outside the parking space. I know the police is here already. Can somebody help me get out, please?
What's going on? Tell me exactly what happened.
I don't know. There's a lot of smoke going on. I can't see anything right now.
You see smoke?
Get out of here.
Sir.
Where are we going? We gotta go. Keep going.
This morning, the death toll is at 97 and 8 people are still unaccounted for. In South Bend, a family plans to appeal a ruling that clears a cruise line in a toddler's death. Chloe Wiegand died in 2019 when she fell from a window on the 11th floor of a Royal Caribbean ship. Her grandfather had been holding her. The family sued, saying the cruise line was liable because the window shouldn't have been open. The ruling from a judge this week puts the responsibility on the grandfather, Sam Anello. In a criminal case, Anello pleaded guilty to negligent homicide and to serving 3 years probation. Millions of families are waking up with a little extra money in their bank accounts. The first round of the expanded child tax credit has started to go out. Families who qualify will receive up to $300 per child under age 6. So they have to be at least 5 or younger by the end of the year. So if they turn 6 before the end of this year, then it's into the next age bracket. So up to $250 per child under the age of 17 there. So from 6 to 17. Payments are scheduled around the 15th of each month through the end of 2021. For those who filed a 2019 or 2020 tax return and claimed the regular child tax credit, the payments are automatic. If not, you're going to have to sign up through the IRS website. And this morning, Indiana lawmakers are calling state leaders to help people who are being forced to repay unemployment benefits. The demands for action come after ITmate pressed for answers. ITmate's Richard Essex explains what state senators want done.
Today, I asked the governor, the commissioner of the Department of Workforce Development, majority leadership in both the House and the Senate to talk about the growing complaints with the Department of Workforce Development, and nothing. Senate Democrats, on the other hand, are demanding the governor order waivers for those that are being forced to repay non-fraudulent unemployment benefits and come out of the shadow and talk about what's happening inside the Department of Workforce Development. Lawmakers have gone home for the summer. Both the House and the Senate chambers are silent, and there are no legislative meetings scheduled this week. There is activity in the governor's office, but the governor's staff told ITmate that the governor is not available for an interview. That won't stop ITmate from getting these complaints in front of state leaders.
The way I understand it, this is not dollars that are being waived because of fraud. These are dollars that they're seeking to be waived through no fault of these unemployed persons whatsoever. You know, for most of them, they had no idea that they were getting overpayments.
ITmate has received more than 700 complaints about the Department of Workforce Development. Almost a third of those are about forced repayment of unemployment benefits, benefits that people were eligible for, but the state has since found issues and wants the money back.
Look, we know that during the pandemic year, there were over 800,000 individuals who made claims. DWD may have been understaffed before, but they were certainly understaffed and not prepared for that. We don't know exactly the reason for the overpayments.
Indiana State Senator Karen Talent sits on the Labor Committee and was part of a committee of lawmakers that met with DWD weekly during the pandemic. She says that Indiana law allows the governor and the commissioner of DWD to offer waivers for overpayments.
I looked up the code this morning. It's specifically in there that said, and there's a provision that DWD can do this. So my guess is that we just need to push on Mr. Payne and Governor Holcomb and demand that this happen.
Remember just yesterday, ITmate showed you that all the states surrounding Indiana have created overpayment waiver programs for federal benefits. Kentucky, Ohio, Illinois, and Michigan. Senator Talent tells ITmate that in the last 6 months, the federal government has given Indiana $900 million to cover unemployment benefits. She says there is more than enough money to waive those overpayments. Again, we have asked how many people are being targeted by the state to repay, and no one in state government can tell us how many people have been overpaid and how much money was sent out. We are going to continue to press the governor and the Commissioner of Workforce Development for straight answers. In downtown Indianapolis at the State House, Richard Essex, Wish TV, wishtv.com, and follow us on Facebook.
The Department of Workforce says it still hopes to resume federal pandemic benefits by tomorrow. And our ITmate wants to hear your story. To make sure it gets told, you can find a form to fill out. It's on wishtv.com in the As Seen on Wish TV section. You can just submit that and tell us what problems you've been having with the DWD. And News 8 is also here to help you if you are one of those thousands of people who are being ordered to repay. So one thing is to take legal action, but what if you can't afford that? ITmate's Jasmine Miner spoke to a local attorney who says the best way to win an appeal is to save all of your receipts.
Person over $10,000. Another person says, I'm frantic, wondering how I'm going to survive on what I bring home a month. I mean, this is really stressful.
What I'm hearing is anywhere from $3,000 on the low end to $33,000 on the high end. You can hear it through the phone, their anxiety and their frustration with the system.
Employment attorney Shannon Melton says his firm, John Haskin Associates, will typically step in for the appeal process. And he says he's seen the state make several mistakes.
Why are people having to repay?
The thing I can think of is maybe a personnel shortage at the beginning of all this and pushing claims through without doing full investigations.
Whatever the case, Shannon's had big success in winning appeals.
First one was $19,000. So, I mean, we're not talking about, minuscule amounts of money. We're talking about, for some people after taxes, it's their entire paycheck.
So what can you do? Shannon says pay attention to your correspondence. Check your portal every day because you only get 10 to 15 days to file for an appeal and get your documents in.
You miss that deadline, you're pretty much out of luck. If you cannot hire an attorney, try to write the best appeal that you can.
And he says when you finally get a court date, the hearing will usually be done over the phone.
Don't let that phone call go by. Or definitely had those phone calls where they missed the phone call and then it came out against them.
What do you want to see from the state?
Make the determination that this was a really bad event. It was nationwide, global-wide issue, and maybe cut people a break.
In the meantime, anyone who has to repay when it comes to sending in documents.
If you're sending it by fax, make sure to keep that success sheet or, go sheet or whatever.
Keep the receipts.
Yeah, exactly. There's no way to force the state to go faster on these things. Don't give up. That's what we've told people several times. Don't give up.
Again, that was Jasmine Miner reporting. She posted a list of the attorney's self-help tips on wishtv.com. Again, in that same section, the As Seen on Wish TV section at the top of our homepage. And Hoosiers are getting tax refunds. That's because Indiana ended the fiscal year with a big surplus. State officials say our overall tax revenue grew 14% over the past year. That pushed state government cash reserves to $3.9 billion. So this will trigger Indiana's automatic taxpayer refund process for the first time since 2012. Officials say about $545 million will be refunded. It'll show up as a credit on your state tax returns you submit next year. In 2012, that refund was $111. The new refund amount won't be known until later this year. The push to legalize marijuana has its biggest congressional backer ever. The Senate Majority Leader says it's time to make the change. Chuck Schumer is sponsoring a bill to make pot legal for people over 21. The measure would set up regulations and taxes, giving the government revenue for each sale. The bill would also clear the records of many people convicted of nonviolent drug crimes. States would still be able to set their own rules. Marijuana is legal for recreational use in 18 states. 37 allow it for medical reasons. A poll out this spring shows strong national support for looser rules. Pew Research found in April that 60% of you feel it should be legal for both medical and recreational use. 31% would keep it to medical use only. 8% say a full ban is the right call. Britney Spears scores a legal victory in the battle over her conservatorship. This morning, she has a new attorney of her choosing. A judge accepted the resignation of Spears' court-appointed lawyer yesterday. The singer also wants her father out as co-conservator of her estate. She also wants him charged with abuse. Matthew Rosengart spoke after the hearing that installed him as Spears' new attorney.
We feel that today was a big step in the interest of justice, not only in terms of Britney Spears, but in terms of this conservatorship, shining a light on what's happened here, and larger issues nationally in terms of conservatorships and how they operate.
Spears' father maintains he has always acted in the best interest of his daughter. The Union for NFL Players is reacting to the arrest of a star player. Richard Sherman faces several charges after a bizarre incident. The NFL Players Association says in a new statement, "We were made aware of an arrest last night of one of our player leaders for an alleged domestic violence incident and have activated our domestic violence crisis protocol for the protection and support of everyone involved. We will continue to monitor events closely as more facts are made available to us." Now, police arrested Sherman in Seattle, where he played for 7 seasons. Investigators say he crashed his SUV at a construction zone, then tried to break into his in-laws' house, prompting a charge of burglary, domestic violence for damage to the home. He's not accused of trying to hurt anyone. McCormick is creating a position for taco lovers. The spice company wants to hire a director of taco relations. According to the job description, the director will keep an eye on social media, develop recipes, travel, and innovate the McCormick kitchen. The job pays $100,000. McCormick is accepting video applications until July 20th. The Indy 11 will honor healthcare workers at its next home game. The team says Saturday will be Community Heroes Night. All frontline workers can get a free ticket with the promo code THANKYOU after buying a ticket. The Boys in Blue will be playing Memphis 901 FC that night. And remember, we are your home for the Indy 11. You can watch it all live Saturday night at 7, only on MyIndy TV 23. And some bonus baseball at Victory Field. The Indians will get 10 more games at the end of the schedule, 5 of them at home. It's dubbed the AAA Final Stretch, a way for the minor leagues to replace the games that were lost when the pandemic forced a month-long delay to the start of the season. It's also going to serve as the postseason instead of a traditional championship playoff format. Indianapolis will go to Omaha for 5 games, then host Nashville for 5. All teams have a similar setup, and the one with the best record wins the final stretch. Omaha is actually at Victory Field tonight, and we got you covered. We're airing the game live at 7 on our sister station, Miami TV 23. 2 of Colts' greatest players are giving fans a peek into what their Hall of Fame enshrinement will look like. Edgerrin James and Peyton Manning will go into the Football Hall of Fame next month in Canton, Ohio. James played 5 seasons in Indianapolis. Manning spent 13 years leading the Colts. And Manning explained how long his speech might be for his induction.
Off at 7 minutes, and then at 8 minutes, they say that someone's going to come up and lead the applause to kind of end the speech. I look forward to seeing when they come up and lead the applause.
The right pieces are put together, it shows. And, to be able to go into the hall with Peyton and watch everything kind of develop or turn into what it's turned into. That's a beautiful sight.
Both will be back in Indianapolis September 19th to get their Hall of Fame commemorative rings when the Colts host the LA Rams at Lucas Oil Stadium. And finally, to some business headlines for you. The same technology Moderna's mRNA COVID vaccine uses may be also able to prevent flu and cancer. The mRNA technology was used for the first time with the COVID vaccine by Moderna and Pfizer. Researchers say that the mRNA vaccines have a very high likelihood of being better than the egg-based vaccines we use now. A Utah gun company has halted sales of a Lego-themed pistol kit after facing backlash from the public and a request from the Danish toy maker to remove the product. With a colorful Block 19 pistol kit, owners would have been able to use Lego blocks to create their own sights and designs on top of a Glock 19 pistol slide. Culper Precision revealed the design in late June. The kits retailed for about $600. Oil's rally has fizzled. A build in U.S. fuel inventories and a potential OPEC plus agreement to increase supply cooled a buying spree that had pushed the market above $75. Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates were said to resolve the standoff that has prevented OPEC from increasing production. A drought in Brazil, coupled with an increase in demand for coffee as the world reopens, has led to higher coffee prices, according to a report from the Wall Street Journal. The price of Arabica coffee beans, which is Brazil's main coffee variety, hit its highest level since 2016 last month. This has been your News 8 Daily 8 for Wish TV. I'm Kylie Conway. Online at wishtv.com and follow us on Facebook when you search Wish TV.
The News 8 Daily 8 is sponsored by LCS Heating and Cooling. Be sure to like and subscribe to this podcast on News 8 Daily 8 with Kylie Conway. And be sure to discover even more great podcasts now at allindianapodcastnetwork.com.